Hello everyone, React Router DOM version 6 is out and it is in its stable release. So in this video, I'm going to take you through the most commonly API that React Router DOM version 6 gives us. So you need to have some prior knowledge about React Router DOM. So this is a project we are going to build to take you through how the API works, that's the version 6 works, and it's pretty simple application. Just you have a navbar here and your home and list of posts. Alright, and then if you go to login, as soon as you log in, then it will push you to your profile page, and on the list of posts, when you click on post details, you're going to fetch a particular post. So the way the version 5 works is different from the version 6. So let's get started with it. Before we get started, I've already created a blueprint of React project, and I've created this component. That is a login with just some dummy text here, and I also created navbar here with just a p tag, login, and then post here, and then the home. This is for my navbar, and I have my post detail component. There's nothing fancy going on here, just rendering just details here, and I have post of list, nothing in, just a dummy component and profile. So you can pause this video and type it. Okay, so after we have this component being ready, and then in the app there's nothing going on here, so let me remove this prop here, and inside the index there's nothing here. I just remove the react.straight mode and have my fragment, and I place in my app, and I have a data called post data here, and it contains only 3 posts here, 1 and 2 and 3. So you can add some dummy posts here. So I'll provide all these things in the description below. So without much talking, let's get started with the actual documentation of React Router DOM version 6. So I'm going to show you where some changes occurred in the version 6. So let's go to the official website called react.router.com, and this is where we have it. So React Router version 6 is here. So quickly, let's go to documentation, and then let's click on installation and yarn here. If you're using yarn or npm, you can use whatever you want. So I'm gonna copy the yarn here and paste it, and then hit enter. Cool. So let me now just finish. So let me run the server here and see what we have. Okay, I have the app running on different port, so I'll run it this one here as that. So let me open it here for you to see. So I'm going to show you the most commonly API that you may need in your day in day out project. Okay, cool. So I have it. So the first thing, if you're coming from React Router version 5, the first thing is that you need to wrap your component with what is called browser router, and this one didn't change. So let's require that one, browser router, and where there are some changes I will let you know, and let's wrap it as that. Cool. There you go. So next is, let's go to the app, and then let's try to render those components, right? So let's come here, and we have login component, right? We have login component. Is it? Try the auto import, it didn't work. So let me go to the app component, save it, and come here. I'm trying to make sure I have the auto import. Okay, I have login. Let's also require profile component. Okay, so let's also come here, profile, save it, and come to app, and then now let's try the auto import works. So let's also import the navbar. Let me save again. I just want to make sure I have the auto import. So the navbar is here, and I also have the post details here. Come to app, and then post details. I have it. So, and the last one going to be the post list, right? So let's come to the app, and then let's have the post list component, and that is all what you want. So let's go ahead and render those components. The difference here now is, now we have what is called route, and then this route, let's import it, is route from React Router DOM, React Router, and this one is going to be the parent right? So let's wrap this one with a route that's going to wrap everything that we have. So for the meantime, let's render the navbar. Sorry, the navbar is there. So navbar comes here, and then let's render the navbar. So for this one, we save it, and then let's check it out, and let's refresh. Navbar is out of the scope. Sorry. So here, let's provide some fragment. Yes, so we need to wrap this one because we are not going to render anything inside the navbar here, so it should be out of the route. And inside the route here, okay, let's also, so now we don't have what is called switch anymore, right? In version 6 we need to pass in switch, otherwise two components can be rendered at the same time. And inside the route, sorry, of course route, not route rather guys, sorry, it's called route. So we have route that has a parent, and we have the route that's going to route the individual component. So like I said, we don't have what is called a switch anymore. So to render a component, all what we need is provide the path of the where you want to go. And then this path here, we don't have what is called exact. Automatically, it has been going to detect us that which component should render. So we don't have that one anymore. And that one, this one going to be home. And the next one is going to be what is called, instead of component, now it's called element, like that. And you need to render that one as a component. And then here on home page, I want to render all post, like that. So with this, let's save this and check it out in the browser. And there we go. You can see that we have the navbar here. So let me comment out the navbar for the meantime. And then we have the post component. And then let's also go ahead and render the login. So copy this one, and then let's have login here. Have you seen how simple it is now? Login, and let's go back to the page, and then let's make it /login, like that. And there you go, we have login page. And then the last one gonna be the profile. Copy this one, and let's go to profile here, like that. And profile components. So check it out. As you can see, you're gonna have it. Alright, but I want to have the navbar appearing on all the pages, so I'm not going to render this one inside the route anymore, so above the route. So with this, you can see that we have the navbar links here. So let's go back to the navbar here, and then let's try to, when I click on login, it should render the login page. So now the link component still works, right? It still works. So instead of just p tag, I want to replace this one with link. And then link, we have the same property called to, and then you should go to login. And for home, let me remove this one with link. And for this link, I'll just give it some style margin here. And this one too, it should go to home, right? And then for post, for all posts here, let's also replace this one with link. And there we go. And for the post, let's see what you're going to achieve. Also go to home. Let's check it out in the browser and see. There we go. So when I click on login, it comes home page. When I render the post list, and the same as the post. Alright, so there we go. So now the actual logic here is that on the home page, I'm going to render all posts. Alright, so let's close everything here, and let's go to the post list where I want to render all the posts. So I want to bring in the post data here. So post here, and I export it as post over there. So let's come back to post list and then require the post data. Alright, cool. So let's go ahead and render this, and because we are not doing some HTTP calls here, let's go ahead and then render those components without checking. So let's make use of post, and then I'm going to use optional chaining .map, and then here I'm going to use what is called post, and then let me quickly render some div here inside that. Alright, here as div. Alright, cool. And in here, let me add h1, and then let's call this one post dot title, and then let's add some key property here, otherwise React is going to yield on us. So post.id, and then let's have some p tag here, and then just render the post.description and description body, sorry, it's body here. And then let's save this one. Let's have some link tag. Okay, so the link tag here, and then in here let's call this one details. And for this details here, I just wanted to take it to equal to, and then template literal here, and let's add the post. And then in here let's add some dynamic, let's add some dynamic ID here so that we can catch it up inside the param. So let's provide post.id. Alright, so there we go. So let's check it out in the browser. There we go. So as soon as I click on this, it takes me to the post details component. So the logic I'm going to show you here is how can we get the ID in the params, right? So that said, the way we get it has changed, and we're going to use a standalone API called use params. So the most important part of version 6 is that it doesn't inject more prop inside our component. So like for version 5, let's take it that for the app, okay, let's go to the, let me show you the all post component. So let me show you the all post component. For all post component, you can see that we are rendering all the posts here. So it means that if you wrap your route inside this component, React Router DOM is going to inject props inside this component. But let's see, check it out for version 6. So let's go back to the component here, and let's try to console log the props over there, the props inside the post list component. So let's check it out in the browser, and you can see that we have an object, but if we open it, we have empty object. You see, so you don't have those like history and location and params, other stars. So it has its own API we can use. So where you want to get the ID is inside the post details, right? Because if you click on the post, it renders the post details here. So here you may thinking, hey, then we can get the ID as params here. So once again, let me show you how it's going to work this time around for that, and you're going to see the same thing. So let's refresh it, and then let's call this one. You see, we have nothing. So to get the ID, we have what is called use params. Use params from React Router DOM as that. There you go. So inside, let's call this one params, and then let's call the use params as that. So if you console log params, you're gonna get the ID. So let's refresh it, and let me go back to post, and here, okay, I'm not sure we are running the post details component here. So post details component is not being rendered. So let's go back to the app. Yes, so let's go ahead and render the post details. So we have post, because I want to get the ID, some ID here like that, and let's render the post details. So check it out, and then we have the ID, right? But for the props, you see that we have nothing. So let's console log props again to make sure that what I'm telling you is, you see, we have an empty object. Even though there is React Router DOM that renders that component, but we still have an empty object. That is how we need to get the ID. So if for these params here, we can destructure the ID like that, and then it's equal to use params. And now I want to get a particular post, so I want to bring in my post data here, my post, and here I can find the post by this ID, right? So let's come here and make use of cons. Let's call this one post is equal to all the posts, and then let's use dot find. Okay, so this find, all right, this find is going to take the individual's what post here like that, and it's going to return if the post ID is equal to the ID in the params. We're gonna get the post here, right? So let's console log the post, and let's see, we're gonna get undefined as I told you. The reason being that the ID in the params now is a string, right? But in here, inside the post, is a number. is a number here, but inside the params it's a change to string. So all what we need in JavaScript is to what? Is to convert this one to a number by adding plus to it, and you're gonna get the post in here. And now we can render those component posts here. So here post, and then dot title, and then the body here is gonna be the p tag here, and gonna be the post dot body, and that is it. Let's check it out. We have it. So let's go to all posts and click on that. We have it. And let's click on the last one. We have it like that. So the last part is the navigation. How can we navigate instead of using push? So on the login, when I click on login, I want it to redirect me to my profile page. So inside the login page, how can we do that? I'm going to show you one important API called use navigate. That's why I love Virgin 6, So here let's create an instance of the hook const called navigate, and it's equal to use navigation. Cool. So here let's console log the navigate, and let's see what it includes. So come back here, and I'm inside. You see that it's a function. That's it. Take the first argument called to, right? Other options. So the two here, so the two here is where you want to send it to, right? And you're going to use that one. So let's create a function const called handle login. So this function is not going to do anything fancy here. All what I need is it should navigate us to the profile page like that. So we have profile. So if you are work with React Native, you see how we see the navigation here as well. Alright, so cool. So inside the button here, all I need is on click, and then on click I just want to call the handle login, and that is all I need. So let me remove control S1. Let's come back home, login, and there you go. Alright, so guys, the most common API I need to take note is about the use navigation and use params, and when it comes to app, we have what is called element, and without exact or switch. Alright, so guys, here ends the tutorials on version 6. There's more to learn about version 6, but these are the most commonly tools you need. So if you want me to dive more inside this package, you can comment below. And there's also called authentication, and I'll also dive in if you want me to do that in the next video. So guys, thanks for watching.